Mariner Books and HarperAudio present A Brief History of Intelligence, Evolution, AI, and the 5 Breakthroughs That Made Our Brains by Max Bennett. Read by George Newbern. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider, or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/pages/A Brief History of Intelligence. It contains figures from the book as well as a glossary, bibliography, and more, and will be referred to throughout as the enhancement. To my wife, Sydney. In the distant future, I see open fields for far more important researches. Psychology will be based on a new foundation, that of the necessary acquirement of each mental power and capacity by gradation. Light will be thrown on the origin of man and his history. Charles Darwin in 1859. Introduction. In September 1962, during the global tumult of the space race, the Cuban Missile Crisis, and the recently upgraded polio vaccine, there was a less reported, but perhaps equally critical, milestone in human history. It was in the fall of '62 that we predicted the future. Cast onto the newly colorful screens of American televisions was the debut of The Jetsons, a cartoon about a family living 100 years in the future. In the guise of a sitcom, the show was in fact a prediction of how future humans would live and what technologies would fill their pockets and furnish their homes. The Jetsons correctly predicted video calls, flat-screen TVs, cell phones, 3D printing, and smartwatches, all technologies that were unbelievable in 1962 and yet were ubiquitous by 2022. However, there is one technology that we have entirely failed to create, one futurist feat that has not yet come to fruition, the autonomous robot named Rosie. Rosie was a caretaker for the Jetson family, watching after the children and tending to the home. When Elroy, then 6 years old, was struggling in school, it was Rosie who helped him with his homework. When their 15-year-old daughter Judy needed help learning how to drive, it was Rosie who gave her lessons. Rosie cooked meals, set the table, and did the dishes. Rosie was loyal, sensitive, and quick with a joke. She identified brewing family tiffs and misunderstandings, intervening to help individuals see one another's perspective. At one time, she was moved to tears by a poem Elroy wrote for his mother. Rosie herself, in one episode, even fell in love. In other words, Rosie had the intelligence of a human, not just the reasoning, common sense, and motor skills needed to perform complex tasks in the physical world, but also the empathizing, perspective-taking, and social finesse needed to successfully navigate our social world. In the words of Jane Jetson, Rosie was just like one of the family. Although the Jetsons correctly predicted cell phones and smartwatches, we still don't have anything like Rosie. As of this book going to print, even Rosie's most basic behaviors are still out of reach. It is no secret that the first company to build a robot that can simply load a dishwasher will immediately have a best-selling product. All attempts to do this have failed. It isn't fundamentally a mechanical problem, it's an intellectual one. The ability to identify objects in a sink, pick them up appropriately, and load them without breaking anything has proven far more difficult than previously thought. Of course, even though we do not yet have Rosie, the progress in the field of artificial intelligence, AI, since 1962 has been remarkable. AI can now beat the best humans in the world at numerous games of skill, including chess and Go. AI can recognize tumors in radiology images, as well as human radiologists. AI is on the cusp of autonomously driving cars, and as of the last few years, new advancements in large language models are enabling products like ChatGPT, which launched in fall 2022, to compose poetry, translate between languages at will, and even write code. To the chagrin of every high school teacher on planet Earth, ChatGPT can instantly compose a remarkably well-written and original essay on almost any topic that an intrepid student might ask of it. ChatGPT can even pass the bar exam.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?